승리의 맛은 달콤했나 카우보이. 하지만 여기서 끝이라 생각하면 큰 오산이다. 이제 우리의 차례다. 기대해도 좋아. GSL 시즌 2 The Coming Storm. 모든 준비는 끝났다. 아프리카 TV 프리검 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? This is day 3 of season 2 of the GSL Code S. And I gotta say, so far our season has been fantastic. This has been a good year of Starcraft overall.
Yeah, but I don't really care about any of that because today we have a groundbreaking change here at the GSL. What you might see right here.
Oh yeah,
that's the back of a monitor, and we've never had that on screen before. And do you know why we've never had that on screen?
Nobody even told us we were gonna have this,
dude. For most of GSL, we were casting off of something. I'm not kidding you. This big.
So when people were casting off of a Sega like, Game Gear.
Yeah, no, things were smaller than ants, smaller than bugs, okay? And in like a year ago or something, we got one that was not this big, but like that big, so that was nice. And now we have a real monitor.
We have a monitor like a normal computer game player would use.
We're no longer casting off of an Apple Watch.
This is crazy. Yeah, we didn't even notice it until about 30 seconds before we went live. We
I'm so excited.
Whoa.
I'm going to be able to see everything.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any stopping me.
We got a quick video, and then we're going to start our match.
이번에 좀 신인들이 많이 올라왔잖아요. 좀 처음 보는 얼굴들이 많으실 텐데 그래도 GSL은 아직 고인물판이라서 16강에는 그 신예들이 올라오기는 힘들 것 같아요.
신기한 것 같기도 하고 확실히 토스가 좋긴 좋구나라는 좀 생각 좀 하고 그런 생각 좀 드는 것 같아요.
토스가 굉장히 많고 이제 테란이나 저그 선수들이 조금 없는 경향도 있는 것 같아요. 이번에 좀 이제 올라온 거지 계속 해왔던 선수들로 알고 있거든요. 그래서 그냥 그 종족이 토스여서 그런 거지 토스 사기까지 하는 거는 제 생각에는 조금 아닌 것 같습니다.
토스여서 뚫었다 하기보다 그냥 토스의 장점을 받고 이제 뚫은 거죠.
그게 그만.
아무래도 저도 이제 가야 되는 입장이다 보니까 좀 남일 같지가 않고 씁쓸하더라고요. 그러면서도 이제 가는 자리를 제가 좀 다시 채우고 싶은 그런 욕구가 생기네요.
저도 이제 좀 얼마 안 남았다고 생각하고 저도 이제 열심히 해야 될 것 같다고 생각하고 있어요.
뭐 피할 수 없는 거잖아요. 그래도 뭐 성적 잘 내고 잘했던 선수들이어가지고 시간이 좀 흐른 거는 좀 아쉽긴 하지만 그래도 갈 때는 가는 게 맞다고 생각합니다.
그래도 요즘은 1년 6개월이잖아요. 그래서 뭐 부러워요, 솔직히.
저그가 안 좋아져서 좀 밸런스 패치 영향이 있어서 좀 걱정이 되는데 그래도 한번 최대한 빨리 해답을 찾아서 좋은 모습 보여드리고 싶어요.
제가 이번 연도에 첫 시즌에는 좀 못 들어서 이번 시즌에도 만약에 못 들으면 어떻게 할까 하고 좀 부담감도 많고 그 부담감 때문에 예선에서도 조금 되게 힘들게 올라왔는데 그래서 일단은 조지명식 가는 거를 이제 목표로 잡고 해야 될 것 같아요.
지난 시즌은 일단 24강이 끝나고 16강 준비할 시간이 얼마 없어서 좀 아쉽게 떨어졌지만 이번 시즌은 그래도 빨리 경기를 하는 만큼 16강을 올라간다면 높이 올라갈 수 있을 것 같아요.
시즌 1 때 좀 아쉽게 떨어져서 시즌 2 때는 이제 정신 차리고 열심히 하고 있으니까 기대 많이 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
라운드 24 솔라 슈퍼 태자 로그
The theme photography-wise this season is more of a battle of nice dress shirts, like club-going dress shirt wearing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like who dressed as the best salsa dancer?
Yeah, I can see that a little bit. The answer is Zest.
Yes, the answer was always Zest. We always knew that.
Yeah. So, today we have a very different group, I think. We have two unbelievably strong Zerg players and two older players. But I think that there is some potential here for some interesting fireworks to happen with Tasia. He put out some great games last season. I think he has a lot of potential within him. Of course, Super's back. I think a lot of people do not even remember Super, but he was a GSL Code S player. You can see it's his 8th Code S, but it's been a long time since we've seen him.
He used the name Vampire.
Yep.
Right,
yep.
for a while.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was a really long time ago.
I almost feel like he should have stuck with that name. I feel like that's a little bit more sticky as far as names to remember. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, he was a cool player back in the day. He had some very neat builds. He was actually the first pro gamer of a high level that was using charge zealots against Zerg.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, this is Solar versus Super. I think Solar is really favored here, but let's see what Super's got.
I think he's the clear favorite, but never count out Super. We've seen some of these players, it takes a decade and then it finally clicks and they start to get further than before. Anyways, this is game 1, our first match in Group C. Let's go.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 솔라 강민수 팀 GP 슈퍼 서성민
All right. I'm excited. And watching on this big, beautiful monitor, this is amazing.
This is crazy. Artosis, don't cast so close to the screen.
I know.
You're going to go blind.
God.
Yeah, generally speaking, I think a lot of people probably don't know this, so let's just state this right away. Most of the screens you cast anywhere off of are very tiny.
Yeah, generally.
We've done some setups where we actually will cast off of a giant TV that's almost behind the camera, or adjacent to the camera that you guys would see us through. But yeah, this is nice. I believe these are actually the monitors for our sponsors, so that's very cool.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Which would make sense, is why we get the upgrade here.
Well, this is, I mean, looking at this series right here, right, I think Super is a big underdog. If he were to get to the round of 16, that would be amazing. It's so hard to imagine him beating a player like Solar, who's been such a staple for so long. Solar, who hit over 7K MMR in the past year on the Korean server. He's really good. He's in shape. And you kind of expect him to go forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of these matchups that we have. I would call it a very round of 24, or what used to be round of 32 matchup, where, look, there's a clear favorite here. I do like what Super's doing, by the way, planting the 2 pylons there. He'll have to cancel both these, but this will slow down the hatchery a little bit. Usually you can measure that by how many excess minerals the other player would have. And in this case, the third is going to be thrown down here. Now, this is probably all part of Super's plan. But just to finish the thought I had before those pylons were thrown down, I mean, this is a matchup where we kind of think we know the results, but there's a reason why there is a format to this tournament that we follow no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So I don't imagine that Solar will lose this in an 0-2 or anything like that, but let's see. Let's give Super a shot.
I haven't seen too many of Super's games since he's kind of come back to high-level Starcraft 2. And the ones I have seen, I can't really remember what they even look like, so it was a little bit uneventful, right? But let's see. Comes in, I mean, 2 Adept Harassment doing all right. He gets a drone, forcing some lost mining time, being annoying.
He'll lose 1 drone there. Or 1 more, I should say. While the other Adept is taken out, this is then just chased away.
Look at this, though. Look at this. Support bay.
Yeah, this is unusual tech here.
Yeah, that's exciting. Like, are we just going to see a Colossus timing? Are we going to see something like Speed Prism Disruptor drops? That's something that we've seen occasionally.
Well, we have the Warp Prism coming now, but you're always going to have a Warp Prism made if you're going to push, right? So there's still the chance of a Colossus after that.
Sure, yeah.
The Disruptor isn't the craziest thing to do either. You know, it's on the less usual side to get a Stargate. I'm sorry, to get a Robo over a Stargate. A Stargate's probably the most standard. But now to have the robotics add-on here. Now, it's going to be scouted, by the way, and it is going to be Disruptors.
Yeah, and probably a Speed Prism. Yeah, there it is. So this build generally will go into a Colossus timing push. A lot of the times it'll be one Disruptor and a Speed Prism flying around. But look at this, he's actually adding his gateways rather quickly, and he canceled the speed after the Prism speed after the Overlord went away. And of course, you know, Solar's a very smart Zerg, so he's probably looking at that. He's like, oh, the Prism at this time, and then Chrono boosting the Robo plus that. It really looks like Disruptor play, right?
Right. Immortal's coming out next. No Colossus there. So it looks like he wants to open up with some harass from the Disruptor, and then probably pair this together with a push.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, that's pretty normal, and it's not a bad idea when you have somebody on Roach Tech. The layer's about to finish here, but you know, Queens are the natural defense against this, but if you can control this well and avoid too much damage on the Warp Prism, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you can get some stuff done with it. Ling's counterattacking on this third Nexus as it goes up, so it does force a cancel. Really well done.
Did that hit anything?
I did not see.
We don't have any drones in the
Yeah, maximum one. I don't think it hit one, though. So he is trying to expand here, like restarts that Nexus.
I thought he was going to push a little bit more quickly, but you know, this is one of the features of a good Protoss is even if we can see everything, it's still hard to read, you know, what the exact intentions are.
Well, I think he's mixed them up too. There's no way that he would, like, what we see here can't be exactly what he was planning, right? You normally do get the speed with this and utilize it a bit more, but he's changed it up. Looks like, he loses the Disruptor.
That's one of the key units in a push like this.
It really is.
I mean, the Immortal's also obviously important if you've ever seen a push in PvZ, but I think having the Disruptor present, especially with the number of force fields that are available in this game, this is a pretty big deal. By the way, force field's not airtight here. A lot of Lings and Roaches are slipping through, so a little bit of extra damage is being absorbed.
Yeah, it seems like there's enough Roach Ravager here. Let's see if he gets that Prism. The Prism taking a lot of damage. He does pull it back. Some nice juggling going on. Only a single Immortal here does pop it back.
It's got to be careful. That's so low, and it's taken out, which is essentially the end of this push. I mean, you can't reinforce there, and in fact, I don't even know if this Immortal can get away. In fact, it is shot down. So is the Sentry. And I almost think that this just seesaws to the other side of the map. Oh, yeah. The damage should end up overwhelming the Protoss unless there's some really great tricks up Super Sleep here.
Well, I mean, slow Zealots and 2 Stalkers are not going to hold a third base. He's going to have to GG, I think, Daceless. He's lost everything. There's nothing going on for him.
GG, okay.
Little bit as expected.
A very straightforward win there. I mean, Super... This really highlights the difference between, you know, a player that's as good as Super, and obviously he's an incredible player. He's in the round of 24 of GSL.
Yeah.
And then some of the other players that we have that can get to round of 8 or round of 4. He made a lot of errors in the push. You know, Starcraft 2, everything is going so fast. And as much as I'm sure you guys like to meme about Protoss, there's a lot of different things that have to be done perfectly in an exact order in that push, or you know, things start to fall apart, and Solar really made no errors back there. Super made a couple.
Yeah, very, very solid play from Solar as expected. We're going to go to Ice and Chrome as set number 2 comes up. We'll see if Super can do something else against Solar and pick up a victory, but I feel like it's very likely it's going to be a 2-0 for Solar.
Yeah.
And after watching that first game, it's still, you know.
Okay, the map, Ice and Chrome for game 2. Let's see what happens.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 솔라, 강민수. 팀 GP 슈퍼 서성민.
Okay. I hope we have a better game here from Super. I actually thought the build was pretty cool. But, you know, it doesn't matter how neat the ideas of the strategy are if when it comes to the actual attack, you're not able to execute it properly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about PvZ is you have to win with a push. Or a series of successful harasses into a push.
Yeah, that is generally how it goes, even though I feel like we did see in that last group some glimmers of hope towards something else with Estrella versus Stark.
That's a very good point. We are seeing the beginnings of this macro defensive play, but I would say like 95% of the games in the last
more than that
2 years, maybe 98.
Yeah, it's closer to that, honestly.
That we're just a Protoss trying to push and win.
Yeah.
Now,
well, as far as games that work or look like they might work, but you know, it's a new patch, it's a new time. There's been nerfs, there's been buffs, and I think that the matchup still has a lot of mapping out to do. It's one of the matchups I'm cautiously very optimistic about to get it into a really interesting place where there's a big range on both sides.
Well, especially with the games that we had on Wednesday, we really got to see some very, very cool stuff that was really novel and really different and really changed just the whole way the matchup operated. It was, by the way, we're having the same technique here, literally down to the second pylon.
Yeah.
Now, let's see if he's going to go immediately to the alternative location and try to stop that.
Solar changed up his play. He made 6 slings instead of 4.
Yeah.
So it feels like maybe already he's countering what Super wants to do. Super might just have this one thing that he basically wants to do. You see the Robo coming up, a Stalker being made, very similar to last game.
What am I seeing with that shade that just stayed there? That was really weird.
Just shade into shade, man.
Yeah, he just wanted to have a buddy with him. It was just very strange. You never see somebody shade and then he's just like...
your shade.
Yeah.
Tasus is friends with his shadow. He knows what it's like.
We were talking about this. If we had to have clones, I would be best friends with my clone, but you would probably hate your clone.
That's so true. Yeah, no, that's really sad in a lot of ways, isn't it? But it's actually, it's really
having
true.
a great time, though. If we had a couple Tastuses, we would always be having a great time hanging out.
Yeah, no, you guys would be like best friends and inseparable and stuff. But you're right. Like if I had a clone, we would hate each other. We would both be sure that the other one is an a-hole and like, wow, he thinks he's so smart. Oh, am I that insufferable, Texas?
I don't think so. By the way, another Warp Prism coming out here. Let's see if we have that robotic support bay here.
We're not going to this time. I'm not sure what this is for, though. I think it's just a couple of depth harassment, right?
It looks to be just...
like 4 slow adept harassments.
Oh, wait, we don't have a Twilight Council here for Glaives?
No, we don't.
So that's...
Which is, I mean, once upon a time, that was okay, right? Like, that was a thing. You could just go harass the adepts that don't have Glaives. Kind of interesting to see 2 Stalkers there.
Ooh. All right.
This looks like it's going to go into a 3rd base.
Yeah, for sure, especially with that Forge there.
Yeah.
So he's just going to come out with, I think, some really modest harass, see what he can't get done. 4 adepts is still pretty scary if you get into any kind of good position.
Yeah, and you can clear a lot of creep with them now that creep tumors are light, right? Like,
right.
That's kind of nice. He does have an observer out there. You can't really expect much damage, but it's like a light pressure.
It's one of these things in build orders where you're trying to set up to have room to do something, you know.
Okay, so brings the observer back to kill off the Overlord. Just continuing to trade here a little bit, some health for some lings. But I think Solar really doesn't care about that. He's making quite a few lings right now, in fact. Solar only on 45 workers. I think he's going to try to bust that 3rd, but with the amount of units that Super's making here off 4 gates, soon to be 6, well, I guess he's making Ravagers now, too, so that's going to help. Maybe he can do something.
Yeah, Zerg does have the opportunity now to try to do their own push here. This is spotted easily by the observer. I'm sorry, how many sentries are actually here? 3, okay.
This is actually going to be pretty hard to hold, I think.
I think you're right. There's some batteries made. It's in kind of an awkward area. I want to see where
I like that
Zerg
idea,
pushes in.
though. Yeah, if he walks around, it's not quite as good as
You don't have to engage where those are. And now there's also batteries being made down here. I almost wonder if you want to try to poke it and then run back and let the batteries finish and not do anything. Maybe not, I don't know.
Well, he does a big surround right here. Look at that. The vials coming down, getting rid of those force fields
these
immediately.
batteries, most of them are not finishing in time, so the ones north of this fight are just, okay, this game I think is actually over. This is just...
Definitely looks that way.
This is a flattening amount of Zerg units. This is just going to completely crush everything that's here. The War Prism trying to be microed. You can see the surface area beginning to disappear. More Lings come in here to buffer as the Ravagers are the real damage dealers here.
Yeah, as the Lings come up as well, it's just so brutal. You know, if there weren't any Lings here, you can kind of micro against Ravagers, but with the Lings there as well, the damage output of Stalker Immortal is just not high enough.
Yeah, this is just too much. And you can see we're on the edge of the cliff here between a rock and a hard place. GG. Solar takes game 2, and it's kind of, at least results, what we expected to see, but Solar honestly crushed Super even harder than I expected in the way the games themselves actually looked.
It was pretty one-sided there. Like, Solar, he's someone, like you said, right? He's like a round of 8er. You know? You expect him to get right around round of 8, give or take a round there. Whereas Super, he's back in GSL Codes, that's great, but I think he's going to have to continue practicing quite a bit to be around a 16 type of guy.
Yeah, he has some very cool ideas, but there's a lot of executional errors there. I mean, even those batteries coming down, I get what he's trying to do, but it literally was not enough. Anyways, we got a short break. When you come back, our second best of 3. Do not go away.